Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to share with you the actual pricing for $15,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 54-year-old male. Now, first thing I recommend is going directly to our website at funeralfunds.com. We have these free quoters on just about every page. And all you need to do is just select the state you live in. And we are licensed in all 50 states, by the way. Select the coverage amount and then put your birthday and other info in there. Click Get Quotes Now, and it will direct you to a page that's going to show you all the best insurance companies with all the actual rates based off the information you entered in, and you'll be able to see the best rates that you may qualify for. You can also call us at our toll-free number, 888-862-9456, and one of our licensed agents can help you with this. Now, the first thing we recommend for a 54-year-old male looking for $15,000 of insurance is really just determining if that's an appropriate amount of coverage. Now, for final expenses, we're typically talking about cremation or burial. Now, let's start with the cremation, because the average cost of a cremation right now in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. That's if you come home in a cardboard box or an urn. Now, if you're going to have some sort of a ceremony in addition to the cremation, like a celebration of life or remembrance ceremony, that's probably going to bring it up to $3,500 or $4,500, just depending where you live in the United States. But as far as coverage amounts for that cremation where you're going to come home in a cardboard box or an urn, we would typically recommend around $5,000 to $7,000 coverage. Now, you're probably saying, well, Randy, you said the cremation is $2,000, but the burial, we should get around $5,000 of insurance. What's the deal with that? We would say, well, our 54-year-old male is probably wanting to get to make it to 64 and 74 and 84. So what we typically do is just add extra coverage in there to inflation-proof the plan for prices that are going to go up in the future. We know that prices increase due to inflation. And by locking that coverage in now, you're locking it in at your youngest age of 54 years old. But by the same token, God forbid you died a little sooner than anybody thought, there's a little bit extra money in there to take care of some other kind of final expenses, maybe medical bills, credit card bills, something like that, that if you'd lived long enough, you would have paid that off anyway. Now, if you're going to have that cremation and the ceremony, we would typically recommend around $7,000 to $10,000 on average. And again, what you're doing is you're inflation-proofing the plan for the future, but also providing a little extra coverage. God forbid you died sooner than anybody thought you would. Now, for burial, the average cost of a burial in the United States is right around $10,000. Now, if you walk into pretty much any funeral home in the United States with a check for $10,000, they're going to take care of you as a rule. It just depends on what part of the country you're at, of course. But it's hard to imagine they would say no, send you walking out the door and walking down to one of their competitors, probably a couple blocks down the road. Just understand at $10,000, that's not going to be anything fancy by any means. It's going to be a very kind of simple, meager, frugal ceremony of that, I'm sure. And it's not inflation proof. So typically what we would recommend for a 54-year-old is anywhere between like $10,000 to $10,000, $15,000, or even up to $20,000. And kind of just depends longevity, how long most people live in your family, and also what exactly you want your funeral to look like. But yeah, you just understand that $10,000 is not inflation proofing it. It's going to take care of kind of your needs as of today. But if you're on a fixed or limited income and that's all you can afford at the time, go ahead and get that $10,000. We can always help you add more coverage later. Yeah, but at least you get the bulk of your coverage locked in at your youngest rate. Now, we'll occasionally get people saying, hey, I want to get $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 because I want to leave money behind for my kids. And, then they see the pricing on like $50,000 and they go, oh, that's it. I'm not going to do anything. Too expensive. And, it's not too expensive for everybody, but, maybe for them in their situation. But we really like to have a conversation with them about that, if you don't do anything, now your family's going to get stuck paying for everything after you're gone. And they're probably going to end up putting that on credit cards and paying 26% interest. And they're probably going to end up having to pay that off for many, many years. So we don't recommend that. If that's the case with you, we would typically recommend you get this insurance exactly for what it's intended for. Final expenses, do that first. And then at some point in the future, if you want, to have more coverage for the kids, we can always look at adding a separate policy just for the kids. Now, of course, if money's no object, we can do it all at once. But most of the people we help are not in that situation. Now, one thing we always recommend is getting first day coverage or benefits. We do not recommend those plans with 2-year waiting periods. Not at all. We'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, you want first day coverage. And what that means is, hypothetically, if your plan were issued and approved today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would have to write that check for that $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000. It's going to be the best coverage, and it's going to get you the lowest rates. Now, some people would say, well, Randy, you're right. I do like that first day coverage, but I'm not in the best of health, and I'm worried I won't qualify. To which we say, hey, that's our problem. That's not your problem, at least from an insurance standpoint. What we mean by that is that's why we work with as many different insurance companies as we do, because they all ask different health questions. They all have different underwriting requirements. And right now, we've got about a 90 to 95% approval rate for first day coverage or benefits. So we're very good at what we do. Really, the only reason you wouldn't qualify for first day coverage or benefits is if you waited until it was too long or too late and you had some significant medical issues and, things like a terminal illness. Maybe you're going to, the doctor said you're going to die in the next 12 months, or you had dementia, or you're on dialysis, or in a hospital, or in a nursing home. If that were the case, we'd typically refer you out to a different insurance company. Also, it seems like on a weekly basis, we get, somebody that will call us up and say, hey, we just had a family member pass away this last week, and they didn't have insurance, and we don't have any money, and their body's down at the funeral home, and now the funeral home director is not going to do anything till he gets a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance really quick so we can get a check in our hand to pay the funeral home director. We have to let them know that there's no insurance company in the United States that's going to offer a policy on a dead person. You got to be alive to actually qualify for this insurance. Yeah, and it's really sad that the family member passed away, but it's even more sad that they didn't have this insurance and they left this burden for their loved ones. They knew they were going to die someday. They probably looked at this insurance in the past and, just procrastinated, didn't do anything about it, and kept putting it off until one day they just went and died. And now their family members have to deal with this. And they're probably going to put this on their credit cards. And again, having to pay this off over years and years and years. And, you could have done everything else right in life. And you're going to leave this one last event that's going to kind of tarnish your legacy. So by making other people pay for something that was not their responsibility to pay. So yeah, just get this done. If your budget's tight, we can work with you. We can get kind of the minimal amount of coverage right now. We can always add more coverage later. So yeah, just don't be that person that leaves this behind for others. Now, one thing we don't recommend is those plans with 2-year waiting periods. Yeah, we don't recommend that at all. And Colonial Penn out there, their $9.95 plan, if you didn't know this, yeah, it's a 2-year waiting period. Ouch, right? Yeah. Yeah, so Colonial Penn, first 2 years, they won't pay out any death benefit if you die of a health or medical reason in the first 2 years. Yeah, we don't recommend that if you can qualify for first day coverage. But, Colonial Penn's not the only one that has those 2-year waiting periods. Mutual of Omaha, their United of Omaha line, they've got 2-year waiting periods. AIG, Gerber, there's just a host of other insurance companies out there. And some of these companies have done an amazing job of convincing the American public that if you're over age 50, the only thing you're going to qualify for is a plan with a 2-year waiting period, to which we always say, don't believe such nonsense, because we help people with first day coverage all day long. But yeah, I mean, our male age 54 probably just got done watching a Colonial Penn TV commercial, probably thinking, boy, that was very slickly produced. And you know what? At age 54 for $9.95, I bet I'm going to get a lot of coverage. I'm probably going to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, maybe even $50,000 for only $9.95. And then our 54-year-old male calls up Colonial Penn, talks with one of the agents, or gets on their website like we're doing for you here, and they see that 1 unit of coverage, which is $9.95, is only going to pay for $1,460 worth of coverage. Now, that will pay for a cremation in some parts of the country, certainly won't pay for a burial. But, in the parts of the country that it may pay for it, it doesn't matter because it's got a 2-year waiting period. And we know that with inflation, things get more expensive over time. So why would you ever get an inadequate policy right off the bat that's not going to do what you need it to do? Now, some people would say that, companies that offer these low teaser rate plans that, they actually sell those but they don't want you to buy those. Yeah, it's meant just to entice you to get your information and get you in their marketing funnels so that they can show you how minimal the coverage is and then upsell you into more significant amounts of coverage that are much more profitable for them. And, we would never say anything like that about Colonial Penn, but, I would imagine some people feel that way. And you can, I guess, determine that on your own based on the fact that for, you'd only get $1,460 for $9.95. So, yeah. But let's take a look because we want to get around $15,000 worth of coverage. Since one unit is $1,460, I'm going to guess we've got to be 10 or 11 credit or units here. Here we go. Yeah, 14, 10, 11. So that, see, here's you can't get $15,000, on the nose for a 54-year-old male because of these goofy unit things. But I mean, you're only going to get 16,000, or you're going to have to get 10 units where you don't even get 15,000. So let's kind of work semi-close. This is as close as we're going to get, even though we'd like 15,000. Colonial Penn won't allow it, but that's going to be roughly $100. Let's go see what 15,000 would be with first day coverage. So here we go. 15,000 male, age 54, get quote. Let's go back, double check this. Around 15 grand, more or less, for $100. And if you look here, I want to show you this too. Here we go. $15,000. And it's going to be $45 a month. 46 rounded up. But look at Colonial Penn. This isn't even 15,000. It's going to be $100. So Colonial Penn is more than 200% more expensive than first day coverage. Level here means first day coverage. So Colonial Penn's 200% more expensive, and they're going to sock you with a 2-year waiting period, and you're going to end up overpaying roughly around $55 a month. Let's just say it's $50 a month. So you're gonna end up overpaying that $50 a month, and again, it's more than that. I'm just being conservative, and I'm going to use easy math here in a moment. But yeah, $50 a month more. So let's multiply that times 12 months. So that's going to be $600 more a year you're paying. And if our 54-year-old male makes it to age 64, you will have overpaid right around $6,000. If he lives 20 years, you've overpaid $12,000 versus going with a company that offers first day coverage at a lower rate. Why would you ever do that? Why would you ever give an insurance company $6,000 more than they needed when you could go with a different insurance company and keep that in your own bank account? Man, yeah, do not give insurance companies more money than they deserve. So, yeah, you just need to be a smart, educated shopper. And, if it's okay if you're not. We can help you be an educated shopper and help you get better rates. Let's take a look at some other companies here. That's in. You'll be able to see all these different companies as well. Oh, like Lumico. We see them once in a while, level coverage, but they're 62, right? So that is about $17 a month. So $17 a month times 12 months, it'd be roughly $204. So after 10 years, you would roughly pay an extra $2,040 more than the lowest price company. Why would you just automatically sign up to an insurance company knowing that you're going to, at some point down the line, going to be overpaying $2,000 and then 20 years, maybe $4,000 and 30 years, maybe $6,000? Why would you ever do that? Yeah, let us help you get the lowest pricing. Let's find another company here. Oh, here's one. Lincoln Heritage. They're a fine company, I guess, but oof, look at that pricing. Yikes. It is level coverage. But yeah, look at that pricing. Ouch, right? So Lincoln Heritage has got a deal that when you pass away, they will supposedly call 2-3 different funeral homes to get to the lowest pricing. and maybe do a couple other things, but they don't do that for free. They charge for that. They charge for that with higher premiums. And look at this, is like $71 compared to $46. So that's like right around $25 more a month. So $25 a month times 12 months, you'd be overpaying $300 a year. And if our 54-year-old male made it up to 64, you'd be overpaying $3,000. So ask yourself, is it worth paying an insurance company $3,000 extra after just 10 years, right? It gets worse as time goes on, but $3,000 just to call 2 or 3 funeral homes and maybe do a couple of other things that might only take an hour or so to do. You know, a lot of people would say, hey, that's a pretty dang good payday for the insurance company. We would agree. We would rather you keep that $3,000 in your own bank account rather than putting that in an insurance company's bank account. So what we offer is a free funeral and estate planning guide, and you can just download that off our website and then print it out. And once you print it out, then all you need to do is fill it out. Who gets what goes where, what you want to happen after you're gone, and then keep that with your insurance policy. And then when you pass away, your family will have 2 documents. They'll have your insurance policy, and they'll know that you loved and protected them financially, and they'll have your funeral and estate planning guide, and they'll know that you loved and protected them emotionally. And all they need to do is open that funeral and estate planning guide, open it up and read it, and then just execute your wishes. And they will have such peace of mind knowing that they're doing everything exactly the way you wanted it done, and you even provided the money to take care of that. And they will know that you not only loved them and protected them in life, but you loved and protected them in death, that one last time when they would need it the most when you're not here. What an amazing legacy to leave behind. So if you want to leave that kind of a legacy, just let us know. Reach out to us, funeralfunds.com. And if we've got a special quota for our YouTube visitors, funeralfunds.com/YouTube. And you can get the best prices and the most discounts. It's terrific. Take advantage of that. You can call us at 888-862-9456. One of our licensed agents can help you out with this. But yeah, I mean, if you've got an existing policy and you want us to price shop around just to see if we can get you better pricing, or you want to add coverage to your existing policy, we can help you out with that. If you need brand new coverage, or you just want to have some questions about what might be most appropriate or what's the best direction to go, we can help you out with that. But we look forward to helping you qualify for the most amount of insurance for the least amount of money. We will be blessed to help you with that at some point in the future. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.